If you've ever watched one of my videos and you've noticed that I'm using some kind of device and I'm doing something with my hands, you've probably been wondering what exactly I'm doing. Well, I'm excited because today I get to explain all of that. Hey, everybody, my name is Julie. I am a little person, so I'm only 3 feet tall, and I am also blind. And another thing you should know about me is that I actually have a really good memory. And I'm so blessed and so thankful for that because I can remember things that other people have a hard time with. So I'm really grateful. But I do have to tell you, sometimes when I go to make a video, I hit that record button and my mind goes blank. And I can't remember what I wanted to say. Or maybe I'm halfway through and I lose track of my thoughts and it's hard to get back on track. I can't remember what's next. There's something about having a camera in your face and hitting record that just makes your brain do funny things. But fortunately, I have some technology that really helps me with that. And I can't wait to show you. Are you ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. This is called a refreshable Braille display. I usually forget to say the word refreshable and I just refer to it as a Braille display. So just FYI, that's what I usually call it. But this particular model is called the Focus 40 Blue, and it is made by a company called Freedom Scientific. And I gotta tell you, this device changed my life when I got it. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's absolutely true. The cool thing is, this has Bluetooth, so it can connect to a phone or a computer or a tablet, whatever it is you have, and anything that's on your screen can be put into Braille on the Braille display. Pretty much anything. There are limits, but for example, if I had a Kindle book I wanted to read and I want to read it in Braille, I can do that on this Braille display. It is the coolest thing ever. You know, back when I was a kid, you had to work really hard to find Braille books or other resources in Braille, but now it's just instant. Right here, amazing, boom, love it. So let me describe this to you. So it's a pretty flat device. It's not very thick, so it's really portable, easy to take places. It weighs, I would say, less than a pound or maybe around a pound. And so on the front edge of the Braille display, it has several things I'm going to describe for you. So at the top of the front edge, there are keys that you can use to actually type into your phone or your computer or whatever you're using. So let's say I'm reading a Kindle book and I get a text from somebody. I can just hop over to my text thread and I can use these keys to type a response to my friend and be like, da, 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 da. Okay, back to my book. It's super cool. So in Braille, what you need to know is Braille only has 6 main dots that you can use to create all the letters and numbers and punctuation, anything you want to type in Braille or read in Braille, you do it with 6 dots. And if you want to know more about Braille, let me know in the comments. I would love to do more videos about it in the future and explain it a little bit more in detail. Maybe share some stuff with you so that you can even start playing with it yourself if you want to. But anyway, back to the Braille display. So these keys at the top you use to type. So there are 6 main keys because they represent the 6 dots that you use. And then on the far left and the far right, there are these extra keys that you use for, I think one is an enter key and the other is like a backspace key. And you can also use these keys to navigate, and there's a whole bunch of keystrokes you can learn to help navigate your phone or your computer, whatever device you're using, along with your Braille display. So underneath the keys, there are these other little buttons that you can use to navigate. And then under that, at the bottom, is the cool part. I don't know how well you can see it with this camera, but there are a whole bunch of little pins that go across the bottom of the Braille display. And that, my friend, is where the Braille shows up. And I'm going to turn this on in a minute and demonstrate for you. But then actually to tell you, at the bottom of that, underneath that, there's a space bar. So when you're typing, your space bar is at the very bottom. So, and then on the left and right of all those pins, you have more buttons that help you navigate. And then let's look at the front edge of the Braille display. There are multiple keys down here that you use to scroll through whatever it is you're reading, or there are other things you can do with these buttons. They help you to do various tasks or whatever. I honestly don't even know what some of them do anymore. I forget because I don't use them that often. But yeah, I know what I do all the time. I know how to do the main things. And then the rest of it, I would have to find the manual and look up for you. But anyway, it's very cool. There are all kinds of things you can do. Okay, I'm going to turn it on. Are you ready? I currently have it paired with my computer, so hopefully it will connect. So I turned it on and you can see the dots. Maybe, I don't know how well you can see them, but I can feel with my finger that some dots came up. So they go up and down as you're scrolling. Can you tell? I'm scrolling through the documents that's on my computer. Oh, over here, actually, there's this little, why isn't that blinking? Usually the cursor's blinking, but it's not right now, so that's kind of funny. Okay, anyway, I'm scrolling through. Can you tell? Can you tell that the dots are changing? The Braille's showing up there in that little strip of pins. So yeah, anyway, that's how it works. I don't know how well you can tell, but yeah, so you basically, anything I want to read, I just pull up right here and boom, there it is. It's incredible. I use this every day, and I use it to read Kindle books. I use it to read my Bible. That is my favorite, actually. When I first got this, it changed the way I read scripture, because I used to listen to audio Bibles, which I loved, but there's just something about reading yourself rather than having someone read to you. I feel like my brain does something different. It helps me comprehend so much more when I'm reading it myself in Braille. And then the other thing I love is that when I'm reading scripture with my Braille display, I can learn how things are spelled. So there are a lot of words in the Bible that are difficult to spell. So now I can actually learn all that. So, it's like, oh, I know how Mephibosheth spells his name now. Woohoo! It's really great. So yeah, I've had this for around 10 years. And I will tell you that these devices are very expensive. Braille displays, any kind of technology like this can be pretty pricey. But I am really fortunate that I actually got this through a government program. So if you or someone you know has special needs and you could benefit, or they could benefit from technology like this, maybe they would need a Braille display or some other kind of device, check to see where you live, what kind of programs there are. There are different agencies and programs that can help fund things like this. They can either give you technology or they can help you pay for it, or sometimes they will loan stuff to you. So don't give up just because this kind of technology is expensive. Make sure you check to see what's available to you and what you qualify for. Maybe you can receive something that you didn't expect and that could really help you. So I hope this has been interesting, and I hope I told you all the important stuff. I am just so grateful that I have this. It's really cool to be able to access Braille so quickly, and I just can't tell you enough how much I love it. If you have any questions for me, either about how this display works or how I use it, or you have another question about my life in general, what it's like to be 3 feet tall or blind, or any aspect of my life you want to know more about, please feel free to ask me in the comments, and I would be happy to answer your questions. And also, your questions help me to know what kind of videos I should keep making in the future. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a really great day. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again on our next video. Bye!